Yeah, I like Terry McLaurin. I think CeeDee Lamb's pretty legit. I think CeeDee Lamb has a pretty high potential, but I don't know, man. AJ Brown, like, I'm not impressed by. People love him, and maybe I'm just being a homer, or maybe I'm just being a hater. I don't know,
Yeah.
but
I mean, really and truly, you guys didn't make a ton of noise in free agency. You really didn't need to. It was just more injury related for a lot of things, and having some of your newer players that you picked up the previous year to try to mesh in with what was going on. And I think that's where, I hate to bring them up, but that's where I think the Eagles fans, or like the Eagles community, is going to get a lot of things wrong this year. They expect all these players that are all brand new just to mesh well, like right together. Like they get so excited about, oh, they're doing a charity game here, or they're a brotherhood posting pictures. And I'm like,
yeah.
well, you guys don't follow the other teams that are also doing the same
Yeah,
thing as
everyone
well.
does that. Yeah, OTAs and dinners and movie parties and stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah.
for me, it's like the Eagles. We'll see it when it happens, right? I'm not going to crown them at all. For me, it's really important to actually produce. Like that's how I judge, like, if you deserve it or not, right? We saw it with, like, I think Vince Young and Ronnie Brown, like all that dream team a couple of years ago, and that didn't come to fruition either. So it's like, you know what? Like, we'll see how it all plays out. I mean, Jalen Hurts, I actually like his leadership. I actually like Jalen Hurts as a person, but
I've been a big Jalen Hurts fan forever.
He hasn't proven to be a passer, like a great passer yet. And he hopefully, I mean, I don't know, for his sake, I want him to do well. I don't want the Eagles to do well, but he's the good guy. And basically, we'll see how that happens. AJ Brown, like, people love him. I'm not a huge AJ Brown guy. I think he's a good player, but like, I would take Terry McLaurin over him, to be honest with you. People,
I think Terry McLaurin is the best in the NFC East.
I agree, man. I'm right there with
me.
Yeah, I like Terry McLaurin. I think CeeDee Lamb's pretty legit. I think CeeDee Lamb has a pretty high potential, but I don't know, man. AJ Brown, like, I'm not impressed by. People love him, and maybe I'm just being a homer, or maybe I'm just being a hater. I don't know, but I don't know. I don't know. When it comes to like DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin, I'll take Terry McLaurin, then DK Metcalf, then AJ Brown. That's how I would do it. But people are all different, so I don't know. I'm not like super into AJ Brown.
Yeah, AJ Brown's impressive for the fact that he will play through injuries and things like that, and he's that tough, like, contested catch type of wide receiver, and kind of has some scary speed every once in a while. But for people to go all out and think that, like, this dude is just going to mesh well because him and Jalen Hurts have been boys forever and throwing a couple passes in the offseason, like, you guys drafted Devontae Smith for a reason. Zach Pascal, when they picked up him, I think he's
that's a super pick. That's a good pick, yeah.
They severely underrate this guy. I'm like, Zach Pascal had 500 yards, I believe, like in the last 2 seasons with like 3 or 4 touchdowns, and he was the number 4 wide receiver on their team.
He's a good wide receiver. Yeah.
Why is he being overlooked?
I'm glad you peeped that. He's a good wide receiver. He's one of those good, like, there'll be a game where 80 yards and a touchdown. Like, he's not going to do it consistently, but there's going to be times where he blows up a little bit. And I agree with you there. I like that.
Yeah, I think the most, this is not Eagles talk at all, but like I've been trying to tell them, I don't know if you agree with this, but the biggest pick for them after I took a step back, I was on the Hassan Reddick train. But I was like, he had Brian Burns. So that's almost like the Chase Young situation with Montez Sweat. Like, how much pressure are you really going to have now? But I think Kaiser White, the linebacker from the Chargers that they picked up that had like 140-something tackles, is the only sure bet. You don't need a scheme to tackle. I mean, let's just be either you
because
can tackle or you can't.
And he's pretty flexible too. He's one of those, like, those modern day linebackers where he can drop back in coverage and things like that. So I do like him. Aside Reddick, we'll see. He kind of had like a flat couple years in Arizona, then he goes over to Carolina and it ends up being like pretty. He had good production. He had 12 touchdowns and 12 sacks and 14 sacks like a couple years later. So like I was surprised by the production that he had. Aside Reddick he's flexible too. You can put him in coverage if you need to as well. He's kind of like that all everything kind of linebacker, but I mean, we'll see, man. It looks great on paper. We'll see about the chemistry. We'll see what happens. Yeah, it's a wait and see approach. I'm not going to crown it. I think the Eagles had a mirage season last year, and like it's funny, like Bird Gang, Vic. I'm sure you know all these guys, Joe Castro. Like the Eagles, like content guys are some of my favorite guys that I interact with. But I'm real with them. I'm like, hey man, you guys played freaking like Garrett Gilbert, Jake Fromm. You got to play like all these, like, the Jets, like their winning streak was like at the end of the year was like against JV squads. It's like they barely got in the playoffs. They got smoked in the play. They were down like 31-0 in the first round of the playoffs. It's like, you guys don't deserve to be there. You guys, like, in my opinion, like, I don't like their 2021 version was the 2020 Washington football team version. Like, we got in there, like, luckily with, like, scraping by. They weren't dominant. So I don't think, like, we'll see what happens. I agree.